A wedding filmmaker runs between ceremony and reception, one camera in hand. A travel creator captures sunrise at Machu Picchu, switching from stills to video without hesitation. A documentary shooter chases golden hour light through Tokyo streets, knowing their gear won't fail them. They all share something in common. One single camera body, no backup rigs, no compromises, just pure creative freedom. 2025 changed everything. Camera companies stopped playing it safe. They pushed hybrid technology to limits nobody thought possible, and two cameras emerged from the chaos. Canon dropped the R6 Mark III with 7K RAW, open gate recording, and 4K 120 that makes slow motion feel like poetry. Sony responded with the A7 IV, powered by an artificial intelligence autofocus engine so advanced it can predict human motion before the person even moves. But here's the real question burning in every creator's mind. Which one is the actual hybrid champion? And more importantly, which camera should you buy in 2026? Before we get into it, hit the subscribe button. It helps the channel reach more creators like you. Let's break this down the way we do on AltBuzz. No brand bias, no noise, just facts and real-world logic. This is not just Canon versus Sony. This is two different philosophies colliding at full speed. 2024 to 2026 saw one massive shift in the creator economy. Hybrid shooters stopped wanting multiple camera bodies. They wanted one camera that does everything: weddings, documentary work, travel content, client commercials, vertical short form for TikTok and Reels. One body that can handle it all without overheating, without compromising quality, without making you choose between photo and video. And here's the crazy part. Both cameras cost almost exactly the same. The Canon R6 Mark III sits at $2,799. The Sony A7 IV, $2,898, a $100 difference. Basically nothing when you're investing $3,000 into a professional tool. So the real battle isn't about money, it's about performance versus intelligence, raw power versus computational brilliance. Let me show you what I mean. On paper, both cameras look almost identical. 32.5 megapixels on the Canon, 33 megapixels on the Sony, full-frame sensors, professional-grade resolution for both stills and video. But under the hood, they couldn't be more different. Canon went with a standard CMOS sensor. It prioritizes color accuracy and high-bit depth video recording. If you're a raw shooter who loves spending time in post-production grading footage, Canon gives you that latitude, that flexibility. But there's a trade-off. Because the sensor isn't stacked, you get more rolling shutter during fast panning shots. It's noticeable if you shoot sports or fast action. Sony took a different route. The A7 V uses a partially stacked Exmor RS sensor, faster readout speeds, dramatically reduced rolling shutter, better for wildlife, sports, anything with erratic movement. The sensor reads information quicker, which means cleaner frames when your subject's moving fast. If you're shooting a running athlete or a bird in flight, Sony's sensor handles it with surgical precision. Canon gives you quality, Sony gives you speed. But wait until you see what happens when we talk about video. If your main work is video production, this comparison ends right here. Canon absolutely dominates, no contest. The R6 Mark III records 7K 60 frames per second, 12-bit raw light internally. Let me repeat that. 7K internally, no external recorder, no rigging, just pure cinematic resolution recorded straight to your card. You also get 7K 30 frames open gate recording. Open gate means you're capturing the full sensor area, which gives you insane flexibility for reframing. Shoot once, crop for TikTok vertical, YouTube horizontal, Instagram square, all from one take. And if that wasn't enough, Canon throws in 4K 120 frames per second, slow motion that looks like cinema. Sony kept it conservative. 4K 60 frames 10-bit, good color science with S-Log3 and S-Cinetone profiles, professional pipelines that editors love, but nowhere near Canon's raw firepower. Sony's strength isn't resolution, it's usability. Their color profiles are dialed in. You can shoot S-Cinetone and use it straight out of camera with minimal grading. Canon forces you into post-production workflows if you want to maximize that 7K raw footage. so Canon wins raw power. But Sony hits back where it matters most to everyday shooters. And that's autofocus. This is where Sony completely flips the script. If Canon owned video specs, Sony owns autofocus. And it's not even close. The A7 IV has 759 phase detection autofocus points, covering almost the entire frame. But the real magic isn't the number of points. It's the dedicated artificial intelligence unit running in the background. Sony doesn't just detect a face anymore. It understands the human body. It tracks pose estimation. If you're filming someone running toward you, Sony predicts where they'll be in the next frame and adjusts focus before they even get there. It's like having a professional focus puller built into the camera. Canon has dual-pixel CMOS AF Mark II. It's excellent, reliable, great with human subjects in controlled environments, but it lacks Sony's predictive intelligence. Canon tracks what's in front of it right now. Sony anticipates what's coming next. If you shoot sports, events, wildlife, or anything where your subject is unpredictable, Sony wins this round. But stabilization adds an interesting twist to the story. Canon claims 8.5 stops of in-body image stabilization. Sony claims 7.5. On paper, Canon wins. In practice, you feel it. Canon footage looks floaty, cinematic, like you're gliding through scenes even when you're handheld. It's eerily smooth. Perfect for run-and-gun documentary work or travel vlogging where you can't bring a gimbal. Sony's stabilization is excellent, but feels slightly more digital. Because Sony compensates with computational corrections alongside optical stabilization, you sometimes notice micro-adjustments in the footage. It works beautifully, but it doesn't have that organic Canon smoothness. However, Sony wins in low light. The partially stacked sensor's faster readout means cleaner files when you're shooting in dim conditions. Less noise, better shadow recovery. If you're an event shooter working in poorly lit venues, Sony handles darkness better than Canon. Now let's talk speed. Canon shoots 40 frames per second in electronic shutter mode. Sony maxes out at 30 frames per second. Both cameras have pre-capture buffers that let you start recording before you press the shutter. Perfect for capturing split-second moments in wildlife or sports photography. But here's where sensor design matters. Canon's faster burst rate comes with more rolling shutter distortion because the sensor isn't stacked. Fast panning shots show that jello effect. Sony's partially stacked sensor eliminates most rolling shutter, even at 30 frames per second. Your images stay clean during motion. Canon wins outright frames per second. Sony wins image integrity during fast action. Choose based on what you shoot more often. Let's talk about the stuff nobody talks about until they're deep into a project. Media cards, ports, screens, workflow efficiency. Canon uses CF Express Type B plus SD UHS-2. Sony uses CF Express Type A plus SD. Type B cards are cheaper and more widely available. Type A cards are faster but cost significantly more. If you're shooting 7K RAW on the Canon, you'll burn through cards fast. But at least they won't destroy your budget like Sony's Type A cards. Sony's body feels more modern. Dual USB Type-C ports, a 4-axis multi-angle screen that's incredibly flexible for vlogging and low-angle shots. Better software integration for tethered shooting and file transfers. Canon's screen is a standard vari-angle. It works, but it's not as versatile. Sony feels designed for the modern creator workflow. Canon feels designed for traditional filmmakers. If you're finding this comparison helpful, make sure you're subscribed. Also, if you want even deeper research, extended comparisons, and technical breakdowns, visit the official AltBuzz website. Link is in the description. And if you want to support the channel, you can join AltBuzz membership as a core member for just $5. You'll get early access to exclusive content. The join link is in the description. Let's simplify this with 3 creator personas. Real-world use cases that'll help you decide. The hybrid filmmaker. You shoot weddings, commercial projects, creative short films, music videos. You need the absolute best video quality possible, and you're comfortable spending time in post-production. For you, it's Canon, no debate. 7K RAW and open-gate recording are game changers. The flexibility alone justifies the purchase. The high-speed photographer. You shoot sports, wildlife, Fast-moving events where autofocus can make or break the shot. You need reliability and speed. For you, it's Sony. The predictive autofocus and reduced rolling shutter will save you more shots than Canon's extra 10 frames per second ever will. The travel vlogger and content creator. You need good autofocus, good colors, and a camera that makes your life easier on the road. You're uploading to YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. You want files that look great without heavy grading. Sony's 4-axis screen, a Cinetone color profile, and better workflow tools make it the smarter choice. Canon's 7K is overkill for social media platforms that compress everything anyway. Let's be crystal clear about what each camera does best and where it falls short. Canon R6 Mark III strengths. Best video specifications in class. Period. 8.5 stops of IBIS for incredibly smooth handheld footage. 40 frames per second burst shooting. Open gate recording for social media flexibility. And cheaper CF Express Type B cards mean lower operating costs long-term. Canon R6 Mark III weaknesses. More rolling shutter due to non-stack sensor. Autofocus is good but not Sony level. Heavy 7K RAW files eat a storage fast. Workflows require more post-production time. Sony A7 V strengths. Best autofocus system on any hybrid camera. Period. Lowest rolling shutter thanks to partially stacked sensor. Better user experience with dual USB Type-C and 4-axis screen. Excellent color profiles that work straight out of camera. Smarter computational photography features. Sony A7 V weaknesses. No 4K 120 slow motion. No open gate recording. Video specs trail Canon significantly. CF Express Type A cards are expensive. 7.5 stops of IBIS instead of 8.5. So here's the truth. There is no universal winner. There is only the winner for your workflow. If you shoot mostly video or hybrid work that leans heavily cinematic, the Canon R6 Mark III is the clear winner. 7K RAW and open gate give you capabilities that Sony simply cannot match. You're future-proofing your rig. If you shoot mostly photos, events, or motion-heavy subjects where autofocus accuracy determines success, the Sony A7 V is the more intelligent choice. That artificial intelligence autofocus engine is a legitimate game changer. Both cameras sit at the same price point. Both are incredible tools. The question isn't which is better. The question is which matches how you work. If you found this breakdown useful, hit subscribe. It genuinely helps the channel grow. For deeper research, you can check out the AltBuzz website and membership, both linked below. And if you want to support the channel even further, you can send us super thanks, which starting from just $2 US. See you in the next one.